The Torah in this week's Parsha provides a list of animals that are not kosher to eat. And included in this list is a long list of different birds. Most of them are carnivorous, predatory birds, eagles, hawks, etc. And one bird is called the ra'ah. And the word ra'ah comes from the verb to see. So clearly we're speaking about a bird of prey here that has very, very good eyesight. And there is a lot of discussion about exactly what is the identity of this bird. There are some who say that this is a type of vulture. And indeed, in the Middle East, vultures are very common. And one of the biggest vultures in the world is to be found in Israel. This is called the griffon vulture, which has a wingspan which is much, much wider than the height of your average human being. And this is an animal that can strip a carcass in a few minutes. It's very powerful, it's got strong jaws and beaks, and it can fly. But the other thing about this particular vulture is its ability to see. It can see prey from far, far off, from spectacular distances. And the Talmud has a particular comment about this bird. It notes, why is it called the ra'ah, the seeing bird? Because it can sit in Babylon, which is modern-day Iraq, and it can see a carcass in the land of Israel. And that's quite a distance from Iraq to Israel, and yet it can stand up or it can fly high over a cliff, and there it can see a carcass in Israel. And that, the Talmud says, is precisely what makes that bird not kosher. Because instead of looking for something nice, what does it see in the land of Israel? It sees a rotting carcass. And there is a beautiful extrapolation of this idea by Rabbi Zalman Sorotskin. He says that what the Torah is saying to us over here is that there are people who sit from afar and they look at the land of Israel, and all they see in the land of Israel is a carcass, something negative. There are diaspora Jews. They're sitting in England, they're sitting in Australia, they're sitting in America, and when they look at Israel, all they see are the negatives, the fight between the Israelis and the Palestinians, the type of corruption that occurs there in the government. And of course, there are these problems, and these are real problems. But there is so much wonderful in the land of Israel, in what it's achieved in the last 70 years. The growth, the fact that they've taken in refugees from all over the world, and that they've become one of the greatest high-tech societies, civilizations. There is so much Torah being studied. There is so much kindness and goodwill, and so much learning that's taken place, and friendship. It's a tiny little country, and it's only 70 years old, and look how much it's achieved. So a person who sits comfortably in their armchair, watching the television and says, Israel, there's always problems over there, is no different from that vulture that's sitting in Iraq and looking into the land of Canaan, and all that it can see is a carcass. All that it can see is something negative. And the Torah says, you know what? That's not kosher. That's not the type of person that we want. We want a person who, yes, they can understand that nothing's perfect and there are times to criticize, but to focus on the good. There was a great Hasidic Rebbe who once said that human beings were given two eyes. Why two eyes? Why can't we just deal with one eye? He said, no, we were given two eyes. One eye is to see the good in other people, and the other eye is to look inwards and to see that you're not so perfect. And if you have that type of a vision, you will become a great person. I wish you a Shabbat Shalom.